All right, so I'm going to go through and kind of describe the different parts of creating like events and tours and stuff. And then I'll make another video going through like actually how to create them. So we're just going to pop over into our events icon here. Now we have 3 levels for events. And the very, very top, most broad level is going to be your event category. So that would be like kayak tours, maybe surf lessons, just something that's really general. Then when you go into it, you go to your next level down, which is your second level, which we call the series. So that's going to be kind of like your different types. So if you had different types of kayak tours, like an eco tour, lunch tour, sunset tour, that's where that would go. Maybe for surf lessons, you've got private, group, semi-private, something like that. That's where this would be listed. Now, since we're in our category, you can edit your details in here. You can do description, display order. This is where you would set your tax rating and if it is an active category or not. And then where you can add your picture. You only need one just because it's like a tile. So it's only going to be one option for the customer to see until you actually get into your true like event page. So once we go into our series here, then you have all these options up here. So let's go through them. So details, you have a short description, which is just a short snippet below the tile before they actually click into it. Something simple, maybe like price per person, age, time, something like that. And then this is where you go and you describe the whole entire thing, you know, where it's going to be, what to bring, so on and so forth. Give it a color to see it on the calendar nice and easily. And then you would do your tax setting at the category level. And then if you needed to override it here at the series level, you can. So going into here, this is basically where you're going to set all of your defaults. So if you need to create an event on the fly, it's super easy to do. I did kind of already go through this one, so you would you can do a description. This one right here, here I'll show you. Well, we'll create one. Not really needed, and I'll show you why. But as far as the pricing goes, we have 3 different versions per person. This is the easiest, probably most common one. You know, $49 a person. Oops. And then per event, best analogy I can make, like at a concert, they sell like tables, like VIP tables. So you would book just the table. You would book just the event. They don't care how many people are coming, 1, 5, 10, whatever. They just care. So this would be just literally booking some kind of event that you don't care how many people are showing up. All they're doing is booking out the event. Then the last one is tiered. So if you had different pricing for like kids or adults or seniors, you could do it right there. In this case, we'll just do the per person. Right here is going to be your very standard, how many are allowed to come, and then the minimum to hold the event. The minimum doesn't auto cancel or anything like that. So it does allow you, it just kind of flags you and says, hey, you haven't met your minimum. Would you still like to hold the event? And then it'd be up to you to decide whether or to cancel or to hold it. And this is just how many people can book. One level down is if you wanted to limit participants, essentially that allows you to force the customer to choose a very specific amount of participants. So let's say there was some kind of surf lesson that it was done in pairs. So you would actually force the person to sign up for 2 people. And they couldn't choose 1 or they couldn't choose 3. So kind of a specific option, but there if you need it. Last one would be to limit the amount of bookings this can take. So if 20 is your max, 3 is your minimum, you can limit it by only allowing like 1 booking. So it doesn't matter how many people they could book, 10 people, and it's going to close out this specific tour. Or on the calendar, like let's say a Thursday at 10 a.m. If you have a single booking available, it doesn't matter if they booked 3 or if they booked 20. All it matters is that 1 booking blocked out the tour. So that would be like if you didn't force people to do tours with strangers. So if you allowed a group of 2, a group of 5, a group of 10, you didn't care. Or this one, you could control it where if you had a group of 5 book, it doesn't matter what this max is. It's going to override it and it's going to show it's sold out. Again, just kind of a very specific scenario, but you never know when you might need that. You could obviously do 2 bookings, whatever. Allow wait list. I think that's always a good idea because you can kind of gauge interest and see if you wanted to open up more slots or even make another tour to sign up for them. And that's just, again, nothing like does anything automatically. It's just for you to kind of keep an eye on. This is where you would set your duration, your time in minutes. So 2-hour tour is pretty common. So 120 minutes. This is going to be if you require a certain amount of lead time going into a tour. So a booking deadline, 24 hours. It's again pretty common. Put in a cancellation policy here if you wanted to. And then last two would be require access code would be if you did something like a special event, maybe for a school. And then the only people who could sign up are the people that have that access code. So it prevents, you can still show it on the storefront to allow them to book online, just prevents just random people from getting in there and signing up. And then you want to enable the storefront, but you could, maybe you were another special event, you can only book by calling. Then you could take it off of the storefront. So it requires you to book via the backend. So once all your defaults are set, it makes it really easy to add events on the fly and by bulk. Moving on, gallery. This is where you could add multiple pictures and then they would show on the page or videos. Participant questions is whatever you need to know from each participant. So if they sign up for 4 people, all 4 of them are going to have to answer these questions, and they could be a short text. You've got lots of options here, and then you have the display order and then whether or not it's required or not. Waivers already have attached the waiver. You can make it required or not required on checkout. Just remember, if you do not require it on checkout, you'll just want to make sure that you're monitoring it from the participant list to make sure everybody has signed before actually taking them on the tour. And then lastly is communications. You would create a template here in your settings, and then you can actually add it. So this would be anytime a kayak tour books, they automatically get sent some kind of confirmation, like thanks for booking. Please make sure you bring lots of water, sunscreen, all that good stuff. And then you could also set up like a reminder too, if they book months in advance, hey, just a reminder your tour is tomorrow, just reminding you of some stuff to bring. So that's kind of just kind of a view of like what events entails and how to kind of navigate everything. This events page is actually as you start to populate your events, which are like the actual day and time, then that they all populate down here via list or calendar view. So yeah, so that's pretty much it.